What's going on, guys? This is Crozen, and welcome to the Pure Strength tank build for Dark Souls 3. So a lot of you have been very supportive of my first few Dark Souls 3 videos, and again, if you guys are going to continue to support those, and if you're going to continue to watch them, then I will by all means continue on doing these builds because I'm having a lot of fun doing them. And if you have any kind of builds that you would like to see, also let me know in the comments. I like to do this, so if you guys want to see any kind of build, give me some kind of build, give me some layout on what you want to see, and more than likely I will do it. I know that one of you recommended like a bow only build, which I will definitely get around towards doing that soon. As long as I have the items in the game, then by all means I will probably go ahead and do whatever kind of build you guys recommend to me. But this tank build in particular, it's a very simple build. It's nothing too crazy. All I did was I leveled up Vigor a lot, so that way you kind of get that whole tanky, buffy kind of feel. And also I leveled up Vitality a little bit, so that way you're able to wear a little bit better gear, so you look more like a tank. And then also you're going to be wearing a shield that has 100 physical damage absorption, so that way you're not going to get hit by a lot of different enemies and lose health. And from there we kind of switch it up when we go into PvP. We kind of use the grass crest shield as you see here, and our main weapons are going to be the dark sword, and also I think it's called the Flamberge or something like that. Probably butchered that name, but I will show you guys in a sec how that looks. But for this class you want to start out with the knight. The knight, again, I'm kind of picking the knight in nearly all of my builds, mainly because they have the lowest amount of luck and they don't have too much intelligence and faith, so it works out perfectly for this class. Also, for the burial gift I would probably just choose life ring in probably any scenario as well. So this is how you want to go with your character. Again, I kind of go with the knight in nearly all of my builds, unless I'm looking at like a pure luck build or something else where it would benefit me early on in the game. But I will be right back, guys, and I will show you how this build looks like in game and all the weapons and rings for this kind of character, and I will be right back. Alright, so here we are in the stat menu, and from my attributes I have 40 vigor, I have 10 attunement, I have 32 endurance, I have 25 vitality, I have 45 strength, which I leveled this up to 40 and the ring is giving me +5. I have 15 dexterity so that we can use the dark sword, and I have 10 intelligence and 10 faith in order to use the pyro buff, and then lastly 7 luck, which is the knight starting base. And this is how my character looks at soul level 100. So for my weapons I use the heavy dark sword and the heavy Flamberge. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, let me know in the comments, but these are the two main weapons I like to use. They both offer nice versatile move sets, and if you do not like either of these weapons for any reason, you can use the heavy longsword as an alternative to the dark sword. The longsword will provide a little bit better range, but it does give you a little less damage, I believe. And then if you do not like the Flamberge, then what you can use is the heavy Claymore. The Claymore will also give you a better thrust, so you get a little bit more range, but again you do suffer with a little less damage. And the Flamberge gives you a bleed effect as well, and it also weighs less than the Claymore, so that's why I kind of like to use that instead. And looking at our left hand weapons, I use the grass crest shield whenever I am in PvP. However, if I go to PvE, then I will use the knight shield because it has 100% physical guard absorption, so that's where the majority of your damage is going to come from. So if you block that 100%, then you're not going to take damage from enemies while you are blocking, the majority of the time I should say. But that's kind of what I use when I go into PvE, and then I switch it back to the grass crest shield when I go in PvE. And I use the pyro flame for the buff, which is the Carthus flame arc for both of our weapons, which will give us an extra 100 attack power boost when we are maxed out. And for my gear, I am mainly using the Dragon Slayer helm, the Dragon Slayer armor, the knight gauntlets, and the silver knight leggings. I just looked for something that looked more like a tank, and again you have to be below that 70% weight ratio, which I fall just below that at 69.9. And I did have to use the Havel's ring, however, in order to wear all of this gear, so keep that in mind that you're probably gonna have to use the Havel's ring with this build in particular. And as far as the other rings, I go with the Chloranthy ring for increased stamina recovery speed. I go with the Knight's ring so that we get a +5 to strength. And then I go with the Ring of Favor, which increases our HP, stamina, and our equipment load. And that basically is how this character looks. So again, I want to apologize. I know I can't show you how these weapons look like when they are maxed. I don't have enough slabs on this character, but you can expect both of these attack powers on the right hand weapons to be roughly around 25 extra for both of these weapons. So when you buff them both up, they're both going to be over 500, and they're both going to give you some nice damage, but you're also going to have a lot of survivability with this build because you're going to be very bulky and you're going to feel more like a tank. So that should do it, guys. I hope that this helped you, and if you have any questions for this build, let me know, and if you want to see any kind of builds in the future, also let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.